Elie and Emmy Madden were born by caesarean section on the 6th of October in 2010. Now, parents Esti Rolinska and Edward Madden were aware before the birth of their children that there was a problem with one of the twins. Elie was immediately separated from her mother and sister and taken away in an incubator to an intensive care unit. And she spent the next 9 months in Crumlin Hospital for Sick Children as the doctors and nurses discovered a series of complications. And 1 year on, Elie is home, but she still lives with a serious medical condition, one that, believe it or not, is going to cost $1 million to repair. And Esti and Eddie are here to tell us more. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And by the way, I noticed Eddie, Esti, Elie, Emmy, you haven't gone too far in the alphabet now to get the names of the family.
We are the E family.
We're the E family, yeah.
The E family. Tell us the condition, because it's very rare and it's a very long name for such a small little baby.
She was born with a few conditions. She was born with esophageal atresia, which is basically there's no connection to her tummy, so she can't swallow, she can't eat. She needs to be fed through a peg in her tummy. And then she had a couple of major heart surgeries, but that hopefully behind us now. And she has a tracheomalacia, which means basically that when she's stressed, her trachea collapses and she can't breathe. That's why the tracheostomy has been performed to help her to breathe. So there's a lot of going on with the small baby.
Well, there's a lot going on, and she's in great form there. She's sitting in the buggy just behind you at the table, and you can probably hear in the background you have a generator which is generating...
Yes, that's helping to clear her secretions from her pouch because she can't swallow. So for her to not drown in her secretions, that machine is constantly on.
Wow. And she's very active.
She is. She's great form, though. She's a very happy
kicking the legs. And she had, I remember a few years ago, I had... is a peritonitis where my appendix burst and I was in an awful state, and I only found out afterwards that I had a tube up my nose and all the way down into my system for about 4 or 5 days, and gosh, it was an awfully... Oh, she's clapping hands, I like that. It was an awful pain in the nose and everywhere else to have it, and she has one of these permanently.
All the time she needs to have it, yeah.
Well, listen, let's go back to the early days of the pregnancy. You're from Poland, and when you were, 10 or 12 weeks pregnant, what happened?
12 weeks pregnant, we went to my doctor, which I know for years, just a routine scan, and then as much as happy we were to see the babies on the scan and the screen, the doctor said he hasn't got a good news for us and there might be a problem with one of the babies. Then he sent us to the best specialist in Warsaw for the DNA tests and so on. So we found out after several weeks that there's nothing wrong with chromosomes, so she won't have Down syndrome, etc. But it might be a problem with the other parts, like a heart or any other part.
And as young parents, how do you deal with something like that?
Young parents.
Well, you are young parents.
Yes, yeah. I think initially we wanted the best option for Elie and to exhaust every avenue possible. So when we were on holiday there, we literally cut everything short just to make sure we had a full amniocentesis done. Mm-hmm. We went to the laboratories to take DNA testing. I mean, that was pretty, I think 11, 12 weeks into it, we knew what sex they were. So we just wanted to cover everything that we possibly could. And we're still doing that today. In the best interest for Elie, making sure we exhaust every avenue to give her a normal life. Because if we don't actually do this, she'll become a disabled baby and be labelled disabled baby for the rest of her life. And for us, this is so important because it'll actually make her life...
It'll define her life and define the person that she is.
Exactly. I mean, she's enough scars on her body as it is to prove it, but this will actually give her a normal life.
Well, she has a fantastic disposition. I mean, just looking at her there, she's playing, she has the rattler in her hand, she's very active.
I mean, if you wouldn't see the tubes, you would think she's a normal baby, regardless what's wrong with her and what she's been through. And she's been through a lot.
Well, Esti, how difficult is it when you know in advance that one of your twins is going to have a problem and then the two twins are born? How did you react as a mother?
I mean, it's a good question because if I'm looking at it now, I think I would prefer not to know because the whole pregnancy was a big stress and constant worry, and we were happy every week passed. Okay, they're still alive, they're still here, and we didn't know almost at the end what's going to be wrong with her. So when I was 35 weeks, the doctor decided to take them out, and the whole pregnancy was such a big worry, but then afterwards was even worse. I was crying for the first few weeks whenever I saw her in ICU because she was so little, so fragile.
Do you feel some of it is your own fault, or do you start blaming
Of
yourself?
course, I was blaming myself, going through what did I do wrong. But then
everything.
on the other hand, I have the other healthy baby. So you have a one sick and one healthy baby. So maybe at the end it's not my fault, but you were blaming yourself all the way.
You start looking back over lifestyle or time or things
exactly,
you did. Or
yeah.
Yes, exactly, you do.
But I mean, the doctors, everybody, the nurses in Crumlin Hospital were great, and they were saying, listen, it's no point, you would just go down, and it's no point to looking back. Let's concentrate at what's now, and that's what we're doing till today.
So Ellie's the first baby in the history of the state to be sent home unrepaired. So it's a big plus.
the first baby.
First baby. It's a big
Sent
plus for
home.
Crumlin's Hospital
Yeah.
as well to have do that. And we pushed to do that. We fought for her
We
because
very
we're
much pushed.
advocates for our babies, and we just wanted to make sure that we could speak for her, you know.
And I suppose the other dreadful thing to have to say is that many, many babies don't come out of that hospital alive.
Yes, we met many parents and many children, especially in ICU, which unfortunately passed away.
Yeah. Two friends that
It
babies
was
died.
actually a horrible experience to see that and to meet those parents afterwards, having our baby still alive and fighting for life. So she is a little fighter, and we met so many babies which didn't make it. So, you know, we are grateful every day that she's still with us.
So you managed to get her home. Can you remember the kind of the pivotal points in her life? I'm thinking of, have you had a chance to bathe her properly as a child or whatever?
Well, she had her first bath when she was 3 months old. The first 3 months in her life, she really spent in ICU, and she wasn't really well. She was very sick back then. So we got to a traditional care unit and then got a little bit taste of normality. There are babies over there which have to be in hospital for a long time, because at the beginning we've been told that she's going to be in hospital for
It's
2
like
years.
a step down from ICU, but it's still that clinical environment,
Yeah.
and a bit more relaxed, so you can actually
So knowing that we're going to probably be there for 2 years, it was like, you know, okay, we have to deal with that, so let's just get on with it. So, you know.
Okay, can I ask a simplistic question? If you have a problem where there's a gap between where it doesn't join up to her stomach, why can't they just join it up, or what can be done?
I mean, 85% of babies with that condition can be repaired straight after birth. Then 15%, which Elie is at the moment, can't be because the gap is just too long. And the doctors were hoping that when she'll grow, the gap will go smaller and they will be able to repair her. That didn't happen. So there are different ways they can pull up the stomach up, but all those ways are not ideal. It's just there are major complication and basically disability for all your life. And this Fokker procedure in Boston actually offer, instead of repairing, is actually building up the esophagus.
I have to say, while I've just been talking to you there, Eddie, you have just become a surgeon, a doctor. You just suddenly jumped into professional mode there. You went over to you put on a plastic glove, and you what exactly did you do there?
I actually suctioned secretions that are backing up in her pouch, because her pouch here is very small, and the rest of it is only from the stomach.
It's a trachea. It's just her tracheostomy. She needs to be suctioned quite often, because then she can't breathe.
But you worried me because I thought there was something wrong. But that's that's a normal
That's a
procedure.
normal
But
routine,
you did it like clockwork.
That's everyday
It's
thing.
the same thing.
Okay, where are we at with regard to the treatment? What's going to happen? I believe you do have some good news.
Yes, at the moment we have a very positive response from the HSC in going to Boston for the technique to be done, the Fokker technique, which has been pioneered for the last 2 years. At this stage, we're just waiting on formal confirmation. You know, dot the I's, cross the T's. But we have been told that we can have the government plane set up, because she can't fly on a commercial plane. So
This would be fantastic, because we're looking at $1 million to make this all happen.
yeah,
Yes.
she's our $1 million baby.
She is, and a big smile on her face there. By the way, a texter has been on to say, my heart goes out to the parents of the twins. They were born the very same day as my baby boy. Praying for baby Elie. Looking forward to hearing how people can help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, when will you know for definite, and what's going to happen?
Well, the thing is that Boston is the ideal place for us to go. It's the only place which have the highest percentage of success in that procedure. They invented in there, and that's what they're doing. That's why we're hoping so much to go there, because they exactly know what they're doing. The doctor there is apparently a genius. So we were hoping to go there, and that's
Yeah, if I may, what he actually does, he describes it perfectly himself. He taps into Mother Nature and draws the two ends of the esophagus. No matter how length they are, and through tension and stimulus, they grow them over a period of time. So Elie would have to be put into a comatose state for at least anything from 3 to 8 weeks in order for this to be performed. But at the end result, because we have actually seen and met one baby that had it done, and to see that baby...
Well, that must make you feel incredible.
Oh, to see that baby play with our twin was like, that's what we want, you know.
How can people help if they want to get involved? Because I know you've set up a number of different things.
We have Operation Elie and www.eliemadden.ie. .com.
We'll put those details up on our website.
Okay. That's our website. So there's a site on you can read about Elie's history, about what we've been through and what we're looking at, how to donate and how to help.
Well, look, can we follow this with interest? Because she's a gorgeous baby. She's smiling at me here now. I wish we had a little camera and a webcam we could show you. And I know, given the drive that both of you have as parents, any parent would want the very best for their child, and I admire what you're doing, and I can see exactly why you would do it. And we would love to stay in touch with you, and let's hope this all comes to fruition. Yeah. And we'll direct anybody who gets in touch with us to your website, and let's hope that we can have...
If you could just mention the venue which is coming up soon. Is that okay?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, Hedigans in Fisborough are going to on the Friday, 16th of November.
The 4th of November.
Sorry, the 4th of November.
I can see who wears the trousers in this
relationship. Yes. Our friends are going to have their legs waxed. Male friends.
Yes.
Good idea.
So just to help us raise even more money, at the moment we have a half of our goal. So we need to have our other half to actually go to Boston.
Well, I have no doubt that both of you will indeed reach that goal. To Esty and Edward Madden, thank you so much for coming in, and to baby Elie, and we'll follow her brilliant career with interest. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.